There's a bunch of ways to either automate or actually manually do your Airbnb calendar. And I think in this video, I want to really kind of take you through 4 different factors, because I think it's important that you understand the exact way behind it. But then more importantly, let's go through the processes and get you understand exactly what suits you best, because the size of clients we work with, right, who's got 1 property to all the way till somebody who's got over 400 properties that we're working with, it's got to be different in different stages. So let's talk about the different scenario that we have. The scenario number 1 for me, managing a calendar, is wait and react. Now what we do in GrowYourBnb is we change a person's ad because it might be an okay ad, they're not doing something right. So we do all the ads, we change it, and then we wait and react to understand how the ad's going to perform. So that is basically scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is manual, where you literally are managing your calendar, looking at a calendar and manually setting up 3 nights minimum stay, 90 days into your calendar if that's how long you open. Some of the people in Airbnb business, they actually open it for a whole year, which I think is not the right way to go forward, especially now there's a lot more stock and completely different. You then have an automated system, which is like pricing tools. So scenario number 3 is automated, which is pricing tools like Price Labs. Beyond pricing, there's different things which you can use to automate it with your channel manager, and it should just do the work for you. And lastly, in our case, we then do a manual with a team in place, but a very strategic approach, right? So scenario number 4 is you do it manually, but you hire someone to do a calendar manager based on the strategy. So let's go through all of this 4 scenarios so you understand exactly what's best for you at the stage that you are right now for your Airbnb business. So scenario number 1, when I look at an Airbnb calendar and wait and react, and I guess you will also see that in your business when you've started it, or if you're operating, is you make certain changes. Like people say, oh, go and change your Airbnb title, add like a promotion discount so that you're going to rank better, so that you understand your calendar. Again, now working with clients in US with certain type of properties, which is a 5-bed house with a swimming pool, has a lot of different amenities for clients, versus somebody who's got a property in just outskirts London, which is completely like a 2-bed small size apartment, really nicely furnished. They're completely different, and the reaction between the ad into your calendar and the type of booking it gets, because sometimes we make a change and it will quickly impact their calendar based on 2 to 3 weeks time, and they will see an increased booking from there. It might not be booking straight away. So a lot of time, a wait and react is what a lot of people do in their calendar, because they're just waiting for a booking to happen. Scenario number 1, especially okay for someone who's trying to learn their business. So if you're looking to learn your Airbnb property because you've just launched it, you've gone through a mentorship, you haven't done it, because once you start doing it, it's completely different to what a lot of mentorship tell you, right? Because it's all about go and get a property. Nobody really sits down and go, this is how your calendar works, this is what you've got to do, because a lot of time it's like, get your property launch, you want to get that booking quickly. So the wait and react scenario for me is important for us at GrowYourBnb in week number 1, just to see what happens. Because in GrowYourBnb in week number 2, what we do is we talk about calendar management and exactly what we're talking about, how to manage your calendar. So let's go into scenario number 2, where we're going to focus on a much more detail. So scenario number 2 is manual. Now this is basically you've gone from 0 to 3 months into your calendar. A lot of time, if you're just learning yourself, in 3 months time, you'll see kind of a pattern behind when our customer booking you, when do they come and stay with you, right? So it gives you a clear understanding of how you should open your calendar. So an example, if you've got a property in a lovely tourist location, what's going to happen is you've got to open your calendar 6 months in advance so that people can book you, depending, again, we're talking about manual at the moment, but it could be you just opening 3 nights, 2 nights, whatever that is. And eventually what you're going to realize is your calendar around, I would say 50% will be occupied, prior to about 3 months in lead time. So 90 days before, people book you 3 months in advance, and they're literally, your calendar's been filled. You're probably going to get a good nightly rate as well, because you've increased your price because it's further out in your calendar. And it's quite a manual thing to do, because you're spending time just letting it work, and you're also spending time opening a certain type of calendar based on the property you have. Now, the reality is, in a manual situation, you kind of understood what and who you're looking for, because the more guests you're working with, the more you're going to realize, Piers, I love this guest type, which is a leisure, a family, they're looking to come and stay for a couple of nights, they pay you really well, they don't ask you for much, and they leave the property really tidy, and your cleaners come in and literally, like, there's a couple of hours of work and the property's looked after really well. Eventually, if you think about that and you do a couple of, let's say, 2-3 night stay throughout the month, you've got 7-8 bookings, you're managing 7-8 guests throughout the month. Sometimes you then also get bad guests, which eventually will make you feel like, Piers, I do not want to do anything smaller than 7 nights. Now, that comes by once you've got a cycle of manual calendar management, because you will see a lot of bookings, you will understand a lot of guests, you'll understand their requirement, and eventually you'll also be confident enough to get those longer term bookings. Now, scenario number 3, which for me personally, working heavily in the UK locations, the automation of using pricing tools, right? So you might be watching from different part of the world, and if you've got a vacation rental property or your short-term rental business is in a very leisurely stay location, yes, make sure that you've got this automated tool that will allow you to tell when and how long your calendar can be open for. It will also tell you a market indication and pricing going up and down, so it also helps you with pricing. But more importantly, you can set rules, which is basically to say 0 to 7 nights in your calendar you want to do X amount of minimum night stay. 7 to 14 nights you might open 4 nights on weekdays, 2 nights on weekend. You create all this algorithm, you plug it through your tools and your software, and it actually does all the work for you. The problem is that your property might not need that. A lot of time when people talk about pricing tool, they go, oh, it's all great doing this and that, but reality, it's not really impacting. And I can tell you today, I've got clients who used to use that in Birmingham, in a location in the UK where, there's thousands of other properties. There's a couple of weekends that really goes up and down, where Price Lab or Beyond Pricing, whatever tool that they're using, works really well. But apart from that, it is literally absolutely no sense to use that pricing tool. What I did find with the automation of calendar management is when people don't have time to do it, i.e. if you've got a portfolio from 10, 15, 20, and you don't have time to manually do it, it then gives you a great opportunity to actually set algorithms and strategies that different properties, different style of properties work in a different way, which clearly makes sense, right? Because you've got a lot of properties to look after, and you'll be able to automate that into your best opportunities possible. So again, for you, 10 to 15 properties and above, pricing tool can be amazing to automate those calendars in your business. And the last scenario is having a strategy with person or a team member actually manually doing calendar management for you. Now, in my case, I say to my clients, 0 to 5 units, you learn how to do it yourself. Straight from 5 to 10 units, that sometimes takes, historically I've seen from clients going 5 to 10 units, it generally takes probably 12 months because they're more strategic on how they approach. Unless you're getting management clients, they're completely different. Yes, you can scale quickly, but for your own portfolio, I would hire someone who can have a system that we in GrowYourBnb, we actually give that system to client. So we actually build a calendar management system and say, and this is your VA, right? In 5 properties, you've got a VA in place. It doesn't cost you a lot of money. The first thing they do when they come into their business is they look at individual property, look at individual calendar, take the opportunity of what that gap is. Could be, some property could be fully empty, and then they will have, let's say, a long-term booking. So a client of ours in Windsor has got exactly that. They're quiet now, but after April, they've got like this big company coming and taking 4 of their properties. But for now, they need to do a manual calendar management strategy where they need to understand they still want to get those longer term bookings, but manually they've got to make those rule set changes, those 2 nights minimum stay, 7 nights in their calendar, depending on the month we are, they would open it for 7 nights, 14 nights, or even 28 nights, because we believe that the ads that we're doing is going to help them get those bookings quickly. Again, it's very strategic. You're taking your opportunity for your team to send you a report every morning, which is my favorite thing in business, because in business, as a business owner, and you could be one of them as well, you spend a lot of time doing everything yourself, or you do nothing because you don't have time, to do those specific things. Having a VA managing your calendar and actually giving you a report, if so, what I advise my client, 9 o'clock, first thing they come in, a VA comes in, do all the calendar management, sends you a report. And what that means is you can literally open a report in 5 minutes. You'll understand exactly which property and what strategy and what calendar management strategy has been used, right? It changes the whole game of the business. I've truly seen better results. I've truly seen results that, you know, a lot of time, if you look at our client review, people use the word calendar management, right? Most of the clients that we've worked with will genuinely tell you how amazing of a calendar management system we've given them. And that's purely because of us understanding this every single day for the last 6 years, doing for different size of clients. And for me, every client is different, every property is different, and we take time to deliver those services for our client. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video around calendar management and how to manage your Airbnb calendar. It's worth browsing all the 4 scenarios depending on where you are, but also if you're looking to start and you want to understand how you can do it yourself when you either launch your property or you're looking into going into helping Airbnb owners like we are as a co-host in your opportunity to exactly do this, because 90% of operators, if you go and look at their calendar on Airbnb, you will not see this happening. So guys, I hope you enjoyed another Grow Your BnB video. I wanted to make it short and sweet and give you as much as information. We've done loads of videos around direct bookings, how to grow your Airbnb business. And look, thank you so much for watching another Grow Your BnB video. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe and share.